Welcome back to my channel. It is always good to see you. This video is a continuation of the previous video that I posted about a week or so ago regarding shaving my head bald and what that revealed that surprised me. When I was about 7 years old and living with my father, my brothers, and my stepmother, every Sunday my father used to go to play tennis. He loved tennis. And this particular Sunday, when he came back from tennis, I went to him the usual way that I did. I was always excited to see him when he came back from tennis because he was, it looks like he was de-stressed. He was always lively. And whenever I'd run to him, as soon as he got out of the car, he'd throw me up, and I'd get all giddy and excited. So this Sunday, the usual thing, he drives in, I'm excited, I wait till he parks the car, and then I ran to him and he said, oh, he was so hot. It was a really, really, really hot day. He said, wait, let me get inside, and cool off a little bit, and then I'll throw you out. He goes in and, he turns on the ceiling fan, to the second highest speed because he was really hot, and he sits down and he's cooling off. Eventually, he was ready to throw me up, so he stood up and he threw me up, and he had completely forgotten that the ceiling fan was on. And all I remember was, it's like a blow to my head. I felt the sensation of sort of flying into the couch, and I saw blood everywhere. My biological mother had sent me 2 new dresses. They were these A-line dresses with, a tie around the neck and with strawberry shortcake pictures on the front. One was light blue and the other one was pink. I was wearing the light blue one for the first time ever. And there was blood all over it. I was so upset about it. My dress that my mom bought for me, so I don't remember feeling any pain at all. I just remember hearing my father screaming at the top of his lungs, calling my brother to bring ice and towels. And they usually have 2 cars, but that weekend, I think one car just happened to be at the mechanics. So there was only 1 car, and that's the one that my stepmother had taken away to the market. So I remember my father, rushing towards the gate. Our house was gated, and my older brother opening the gate. And my father just so distressed, holding me like this, like a baby. So he was looking for a taxi, trying to hail a taxi, and no one was stopping. But anyway, eventually, a good Samaritan, who was not a cab driver, stopped, and we went to the hospital. We got to the hospital, and of course I was rushed to an emergency room and laid on a table. They proceeded to do something, I didn't realize at the time that I had been cut twice. I was cut here and here by the ceiling fan. I didn't realize that I had a cut here. This is the only one because I remember the towel being put on. I don't even know if my father realized that it was 2 cuts. You know what I mean? Because you can imagine blood all over my face, right? So he probably thinks it's from here coming down. I don't know. The nurse, cleaned up. They cut. I had braids, big pigtails. She cut a couple of them from here and here, so I guess she could see the wound. And then all I saw was a needle being threaded, and she proceeded to sew my wound. I felt every single stitch. I started to scream. That's when I started feeling pain. And then the nurse stops sewing, and she goes and picks up a cane. And she comes and she holds the cane to me and she says, you scream 1 more time. And of course, I guess I had to pick which pain I wanted to endure, whether the pain of the needle or the pain of the cane. I think the pain of the needle seemed better at that time, so I shut up. So I got the stitches in both places, and I don't know if they put anesthesia or anything because I felt every stitch, like I said. And then they put huge dressing on it I mean, it was like this big. I remember it being like that big here. And then another one about this big over here, about this big, like half of this over here, right? And so my father takes me home. And when we got home, my father took me to his bedroom and he laid blankets on the floor and he put me there. And I guess I was so exhausted. So I fell asleep. And then something woke me up. For some reason, I just woke up. I don't know how long I was asleep for, but I woke up and I saw feet. So I followed the feet from the ground up, and there was my stepmother standing there looking down on me, and she was laughing. Like, not a big laugh, but like chuckling, with all her teeth out, like really amused, very amused. And I remember just this feeling in my stomach, as a 7-year-old who has been through something that traumatic and then seeing somebody laughing. So she didn't say anything and I didn't say anything, and I closed my eyes back again and I just lay there, and then she left. That's how I got the 2 scars. I have since done some kind of laser treatment on this facial scar to make it less pronounced, because it was very pronounced before. It was ridiculously pronounced. It was a lip right there, and I wouldn't say the funny thing, but the interesting thing is that where I come from, which is Ghana, and the Ashanti tribe actually has tribal marks. They put tribal marks, when you're born, they put tribal marks. At some time in your life, by the time you're an adult, you have a tribal mark that looks exactly like this. Exactly like this. So mine looks like a tribal mark, right? But it was an accident. And people, of course, people don't believe it, but anyway, whatever. This is the only part of the scar that I had ever seen. I cut my hair short sometimes, but never bald. This was the first time I had cut my hair bald. And the scar actually starts from here and comes down and curves and goes back like this. When I saw it that very first time, my heart felt like somebody had held it like this and squeezed it, because I felt the pain of my father. I imagined me in my father's shoes. I had to come to terms with it, because I had never expected that it was that big. I remember my father, every time his friends would come and visit, and I'd be hanging out with him, he would say, guys, this is my daughter that I almost killed. Every time he would say it when people came to visit and I was around, and I'd just roll my eye like, here we go again. I didn't think it was a big deal at all until I saw the extent of the scar at the time when I had children of my own. So it was April 8th, 2013 that I shaved my head bald and felt that experience of being in my father's shoes. Less than a month later, my older daughter broke her arm. It was shattered. When they did the x-ray, there were pieces of the bone all over the place. That's a different story. I don't even want to go into right now because I'm going to cry. But they had to fly her in a medevac to Children's Hospital for surgery immediately. This was less than a month after I had seen my scar and experienced what my father must have felt. So I'm going through these emotions after my head was shaved bald. I go to work and I get strange looks. And somebody actually asked me if I was sick. It wasn't one person, it was a few people. And I realized that strangers would look at me with this sadness in their eyes. They tried to smile, but you could see the sadness behind, the smile. And then it hit me. I remembered, as you saw in the shaving, the video that when I was shaving my head, my older daughter had said that I looked like I had cancer. And that's when it hit me that people thought I had cancer. And that actually made me sad also. So it was an emotional roller coaster, realizing the size of my scar, coming to terms with what it looked like, coming to terms with what my father must have felt. And I never discussed it with my father because I did not think it was a big deal. And I didn't realize, because the distance between the top scar and the one on the cheek is about 6 inches. So if the fan had hit me right here instead, that would be my eye and my throat. And these are all the things I was experiencing when I saw the scar, and I realized now how my father was so traumatized and why he never forgot it for the rest of his life, where every time he saw me, you could see in his eyes that he would remember it. I'm not going to shave my head bald again. I did enjoy the bald head though, I did. But I'm not going to do that again. I think I will cut my hair low if I need to. I'll do a big chop, not a big shave. I'm emotionally tired just talking about it. So I just wanted to share that with you. So if you all have any ideas on how to cover scars, because after doing the laser here, they told me this is as good as it's going to get. It is so much better now. And it's about this wide right there. So it's about what? A little less than an inch wide. Yeah. Thank you for watching this, and if you have any comments any way that you can give me some ideas regarding this, how to cover it up, or any kind of medical procedures that I can do to get rid of it, I would really appreciate it. But if not, thank you again for watching. Thank you for listening, and I hope to see you again soon. Okay? Thanks. And don't forget to comment and rate and subscribe. See you soon. Bye.